Welcome, everyone. This is September Cards and Coffee with Colleen and Kathi. My name is Colleen Lemma. I am an intuitive reader, and I utilize Akashic records as well as your astrological blueprint, numerology, tarot divination cards, the clairs. My website is Sacred Soul Empowerment, and you can go on there at any time and see all the different services I have listed. I also do some healing, Reiki, past life regression, hypnotherapy, and I teach a lot of metaphysical classes, which little mention here. I just moved within about a month ago, so I've got some changes going on, like I'm sure all of you do. And I need to get to my meetup group page and start listing some more and new events and classes and lectures. So just be on the lookout for that. The meetup group, if you're not connected to the meetup group, is called Sacred Soul Empowerment, which is the same name as my website to keep it really easy. And you can find me on Facebook and Instagram under my name or under Sacred Soul Empowerment. So I'm going to let Kathi introduce herself before we get into some messages on a collective level. Kathi.
Hi, my name is Kathi Munson. I have been on this path for 22 plus years. I am a psychic medium, past life regressionist, Reiki Master teacher, as also multidimensional healing facilitator. My website is Intuitive Cat, and cat with a K, intuitivecat.com. My email is intuitivecat@gmail.com. But the name of my business is Voices of Enlightenment. So on Facebook, if you're looking for anything or you're looking for me, you can find me at Voices of Enlightenment on Facebook. So I also have Instagram, Voices of Enlightenment, Instagram, and we are working on progressing and getting a new website that will be Voices of Enlightenment. I do all kinds of healings and readings, and spa days seems to be the big thing right at the moment, where we do foot detoxing and many various things. Anyway, I do a lot of classes. I also do guided meditations. And of course, I do this with Colleen, but I also have a group that will be meeting live this coming Friday. So if you don't get what you want from this one in some ways, you can always come and see. It's myself and the new generation, the women that I have trained to start doing their version of psychic medium work. So we do a very similar connection on Friday night. Certainly reach out to me. I can give you the Zoom link for that, so you could join us Friday night. And even if you get a reading tonight, we all pick, they're not going to know you got a reading today. So yeah. Anyway, that is it for me. I will be quiet so that we can move on.
And keep in mind too, everyone, that if you don't get picked for an individual reading, because obviously within an hour's time, we can't get to everybody, but there's often something that's said either in our messages that Kathi and I are going to start out with, or even in the individual readings with the people we do pick that resonate with you. And you're like, oh my gosh, okay. So, just, go with the flow, trust, have faith. Again, I want to mention too, usually it's after we're done that I mention when the next Cards and Coffee is, but I'm going to mention it now in case some of you log off before then. The next Cards and Coffee is going to be on October 20th. It's always on a Sunday. Kathi and I have been doing this for well over a year, maybe two, I don't even remember. But the next one, and we've already got it scheduled also for November and December, and all those dates are listed on my meetup page. So let's talk a little bit about the energies that have been going on, give you some collective messages. It has been quite the interesting time period, especially since this full moon in Aquarius that we had back on August 19th. So even though we just had a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, I'm going to go back a month previous to that, because that full moon in Aquarius, which kind of brings in sudden, unexpected shifts, lightning bolt revelations, things that you didn't expect to happen or occur. I just feel like that really shook up life in a lot of ways on a collective level and maybe rocked some of your world, so to speak. And then, of course, on September 17th, just recently, we had a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. Now, full moons are always about releasing, ending, completion, letting go. And with this Pisces energy, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, so it is also about endings and completion of a cycle, a karmic cycle, a soul level cycle. And the fact that this recent one was an eclipse energy magnifies this idea of endings so we can prepare for new beginnings. Now we are coming up to a new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd. New moons are about planting new seeds, moving in new directions. It's about new beginnings. The sign of Libra, where that new moon eclipse occurs on October 2nd, is in Libra. So Libra is about relationships, partnerships, balance, and equality. Now, even with these past couple of full moons I had, I'm seeing a lot of clients coming in, to get readings and whatnot. A lot of students in my classes also are going through a lot of relationship shifting, not necessarily leaving, although a lot of it is sometimes leaving or moving away from a current relationship. But this can also be about ending of patterns, ending of the way we operate within our current relationships, and not just romantic partnerships, but all kinds of one-on-one relationships. So we're in this eclipse corridor right now between a full moon lunar eclipse and a new moon solar eclipse. And today, which I don't think we purposely did it, Kathi, but today is the fall equinox. So this is the day that the sun does move into the sign of Libra, sign of equality, balance, the scales of justice. And, this is a time where there's a balancing going on, a balancing of, some people say a balancing of light and dark. I'm going to say balancing of feminine and masculine energies. And so this is a hugely kind of powerful time right now. I'm going to say that when the eclipses happen, normally we think full moon endings, what do I want to release? New moons, what are my intentions? What do I want to activate and put out there to the universe to create? But eclipses are kind of like wild cards. And you can't always, or shouldn't even always, send out any intentions during eclipse energies, because it's like being in a salt shaker that's constantly being shaken. And you don't know until the salt settles or until the energies settle what's transpired and what's the next step. So I'm going to say trust and have faith are two of the biggest things right now. Surrender, you could add that too. So trust, faith, and surrender to the unfolding, the divine plan that's unfolding, and the divine timing of that plan. So I do have some cards here, but I want Kathi to kind of bounce off of that before I show you my cards and what the messages are on a collective level. Kathi?
So yeah, no, we didn't plan the fall equinox, by the way, but perfect timing as usual. I
Yeah.
think Spirit sort of took a handle on that one. So for me, what I'm getting about the timing, and again, I'm not an astrologist like Colleen. I just tend to sense and feel. I'm very intuitive. I'm very much a seer. I tend to see things very visually. And a lot that was coming up this time, again, watching clients and watching the energy that is connecting with me, the classes, students as well, hearing very similar stories across the board. And it's a lot of people doubting themselves through this period of time, like not like second guessing who they are, where they're going, what they're doing, that they were so grounded in knowing before that. And a lot of emotion, like especially this yesterday, I had a spa day and that's everybody cried. I had a few people that just hit the door of the space that I'm in and they just burst into tears. And I was like, okay, you're in the right place. Come on in, let it all go. Because it's a very healing space that I have here that I created. And so it's, well, Spirit and I created, let me just be real. But it's also a karmic time, a time of paying attention to if there's anything you need to work on and release and let go, any connections that you need to make right. Now is the time to do that, because it's all about now looking at your karma going forward, starting to realize that I need to now shift and keep myself in a very positive state, because everything is transmitting out into the universe. We are able to manifest at a drop of a pin. Like you could be thinking of something and it's like all of a sudden showing up in your vision or showing up in your life and sort of addressing yourself. So if you are doubting where you're going and doubting what your path is going to be and doubting who you are, that's what you're building to put out into the universe. So we have to be very, very careful. We are human. So you have to allow yourself those moments to be like, okay, I don't really know what's going on. So let me take a minute and just kind of like ponder this for a minute, but try not to stay in too long and try to get yourself back to that loving, peaceful state. Love is the biggest thing I keep hearing over and over and over again as we get closer and closer to the end of the year. We have to come back to love. We have to start sending love out there. We need to stop judging ourselves, the world, everything that's out there. It's not that you cannot have, I knew she'd be holding up cards eventually. It's not that you cannot have thoughts and feelings and emotions. That's not what I'm saying, but process through them. Try to get yourself through them to the other side. One of the biggest cards that really, really hit for me, hang on, because I'm trying to like put my eyes on it right at the moment. Well, there was a lot of cards, a lot about earth and a lot about like becoming the eternal mother, becoming, and again, even if there's men on today, we all have feminine and masculine sides, but it's all about like the groundedness of you. And that's what I sort of took the mother card as being, is it's the groundedness of this earth, like protecting the earth, helping the earth, growing the earth, evolving the earth, but also the same with us, growing and evolving and moving. If you're looking for love, or you're looking for a new job, or you're looking for those things, you have to know what you're looking for. I always say, put your feelers out there, send the resume to everything that interests you, if you're looking for a job, because the universe is going to guide it. It's going to guide it to you anyway. But sitting with yourself and saying, what am I really looking for? Just because you know something doesn't mean that's where you have to go. It's a time of evolving and growing and manifesting and moving forward. Colleen's a perfect vision of that. She could be our poster child today.
Ta-da!
Because she just moved. Like she took a chance and she moved. So it's like constantly not letting yourself stay in those situations and those dramas and those things that you've been keeping yourself in. And family is a whole nother thing. I've been seeing a lot of family connectedness, family healing, a lot of things happening. There's just so much happening right now. I can understand why people are a little overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like you just have to kind of piece it out and deal with things a little bit at a time and stay in that peace moment. Keep peace within you. It doesn't matter what's happening out here. Because if we look at our universe, oh, it's so easy to get led down that primrose path, is it not? With what's going on out there, I'm just kind of like grabbing a bowl of popcorn and going, this is interesting. Let's just watch this like it's a movie. Let's just see what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, that's what I'm getting. That's where I am right at the moment. We just have to try to like sort of create a new positive karma for ourselves and continue to stay in the positive karma that we've created.
I'm going to bounce quickly off of what Kathi just said. She mentioned about love and being in that state of love. Of course, you saw me hold up the card for Archangel Zadkiel, and it says self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. This is the state of being in that energy of love, that unconditional love. It doesn't mean we don't have good boundaries. It doesn't mean that we don't stand up and speak our truth or take our power back, but we can do it from a place of love, compassion. And Archangel Zadkiel, by the way, he uses the violet flame. I don't know, some of you might have heard of the Ascended Master Saint Germain, the violet flame of Saint Germain. Archangel Zadkiel is actually the original energy of that violet flame. In fact, it's said that Archangel Zadkiel gifted it to Ascended Master Saint Germain. So the violet flame, and the back of the card is actually violet, which is interesting. But the violet flame is a transmuting energy. It's like the color of the crown chakra. And if you immerse yourself and visualize being in the violet flame of light, call in Archangel Zadkiel or Saint Germain if you want, it helps to transmute those lower vibrational energies and to be more in that heart chakra of unconditional love. Now, Kathi talked about manifesting. That's a perfect thing that's going on right now. We're in an 8 universal year. 2024 is an 8 energy. And 8, the number 8, is about manifestation. This month of September is an 8 month. So we're in an 8 month and an 8 year. So this is like huge portal of manifestation energies right now at our disposal. And in fact, I pulled Isis, where it says magic is manifesting. So there's magical energies right now at our disposal to use for manifestation. And from a different deck, limitless possibilities. So there's limitless possibilities of what you can manifest right now. You just have to trust, believe, and just hold the space for what it is that you truly want and desire. Kathi mentioned, again, that I took the leap of faith, and I was in a not good relationship and living situation. So some of you might be going through something like that, or something else where there's a pattern or an emotion or a a belief system, or it could be career, it could be financial, where there's a situation that it's like it's time to move out of this and move into like a new timeline, to kind of rise above. In fact, that was another message, is like rise above some of this third dimensional goop that's going on and see the higher spiritual perspective of the soul evolution and growth that you are going through, and that your angels and guides are guiding you to move up to kind of this new timeline, this other level. They did talk about, in my general looking here of the collective energies, they talked a lot about connections, soul family. You could say soulmate too, but I feel like this is more like collective soul family energy, friendships, coming together with people of like mind, other people that support you, support your path. I feel like a lot of support group kind of energy right now, it's kind of popping up in different ways during this time period, where, you know, women, and not just women, but it seems like it's a lot of women coming together to support one another, because we're all going through similar things right now. So come together in support, but also come together for fun and play and upliftment. That seems to be an energy as well. Don't get, what do I want to say, drugged down into the chaos energies of what's going on the planet. You know, there's a lot of shifting that's going on, and that's, you know, maybe all I'll say about that is that we're moving out of a lower third dimensional paradigm, and we're being uplifted to a fifth and higher dimensional paradigm. And so a lot of those that are authorities or in power and control positions, they're kind of floundering right now, and we don't need to get drug into that. And even on a personal level, people are shifting, people are, you know, their chakras are opening, they're getting downloads of information, they're getting new light codes are coming in. So we're all kind of like a little discombobulated. So the last card I'm going to show you, though, was the Mother of Fire. This is like the Queen of Wands, and it says shine and rise. Like we're needing to shine our light and rise into our highest truth at this time. The Queen of Wands is independent, she's passionate, she's energetic, she's creative, and she's a leader. And this is, again, like the divine feminine rising into her power. Kathi, you want to say anything else before we choose?
Yeah, I just want to touch on one thing, and then we'll move on. But we have to remember that because we are fluctuating between the third and the fifth dimension, but actually I feel like it's higher than fifth dimension, so
Yes,
I'll just say
yes.
that.
Yeah.
But again, so is our earth, and we have to remember that. Like everything that's happening, it's the earth is changing and evolving all on its own. So then, of course, once that wheel starts to spin, it's sort of like, it's like stirring a pot, you know what I mean? When the pot starts to boil, that's kind of what's happening, is like you're seeing people make maybe not the greatest choices, because I'll just say that, you know, and in many different ways. And that's why then it gets to us and it's throwing us off as well. So we have to sort of allow ourselves to have peace and comfort, you know, find the things that keep you happy, find the things that bring you into joy. If you're second guessing who you are or where you're supposed to go, it's not that we're not shifting. It's not that we need to continue to keep saying, am I meant to be here? Like, is this what I'm meant to be doing? You know, again, we can totally understand that, those questions, but just stay in the moment. Like, try not to get too, and this is really difficult for people who are very thinky, because I'll just say that. Try not to get too much into those thoughts, because then it starts swirling like the vortex of doom. I always wish there was like a reverberation thing that could happen to my voice when I say that. So be careful to not allow yourself to get in there, because then you're thinking, and you're not able to get out of those thoughts. It's like you just keep going back and it's like a vortex where that you just keep getting sucked into. So be careful not to do that. We're just meant to be in the moment and find peace in the moment. Don't look too far ahead, because where they are guiding us to go, and I know this all too well for myself, where they are guiding us to go, and those of us that are intuitive, we're like, something exciting's coming, I'm ready, let's go, like I'm ready to go now, because I'm very much that like patience is a nasty word to me, so I'm just gonna say that. And I think for most humans, patience is not, I always tell my students, it's the P word, and they're all like, oh no, and I'm like, yeah, we're in a time of patience. So yeah, they literally are moving us like chess pieces on a chessboard. If they don't know where you need to be yet, because the universe is changing in ways, and I'm going to be honest, that I've heard from my guides, Humans have made a bit of a conundrum for them. So I'm just going to say that for choices that have been made. And again, we're not going too deeply into that. But again, there were choices that were not meant to be made. So now they have to be very strategic as to where they are going to put you, that you can serve and do the best that you can do from where you are. So again, we have to sort of be very patient with that. Go ahead, Colleen. I see you like wanting to say something.
No, no, I want you to finish your thought if you're.
No, I'm actually kind of, I did finish my
All
thought.
right, I'm just looking at the time and I want to, make sure we get to as many people as we can for the mini reading. So if you want a reading, if you're on camera, you can raise your hand. If you're not on camera, you can raise your etheric hand. Know that I will be asking for your date of birth because I'm one that likes to look at the, numerology and astrological kind of vibration as well as getting the messages from your angels and guides. So, Kathi, are you still here?
I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. It's like everybody shifted. So I'm like, where did you go? So Kathi, I'm going to let you choose the first person.
Oh my. All right, let's see. Let me see. Let me see. I knew she was going to tell me to choose first, and I'm like, um, I'm gonna go with Jerry. I keep being pulled strongly to you for some reason. So
Okay, great. And so
Jerry, it's all on you.
Jerry, if you can give us your date of birth.
Yes, it's 10/26/68.
10/26/68. And do you have a specific question or focus, or do you want to just see what your angels and guides have to say?
The latter, general.
What your angels and guides
Thank
have
you.
to say. You're welcome. I'm going to let Kathi go first.
So it's interesting, Jerry, as I go into your energy, I am noticing that there's a lot of movement there, like almost like it's a lot of what we've been talking about, which I'm not surprised, which is why you're all here. So there will be this line of connectedness between you all, I'm sure. But it's a lot of like, I feel like you are so strongly trying to set your boundaries. And I just feel like this, like what I'm doing with my hands, like almost like, and I feel like you're setting them well, but I think you're kind of going a little overboard. Like you're getting so stuck in that groundedness and boundaries. Like, no, I'm not doing that. No, like almost it's so funny. I always think of my younger child, my younger self coming out and just kind of going to like that bratty stage. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Those kinds of things. But it's so funny because they want you to sort of like pull it back a little, and rethink about again, they understand that you needed to set your boundaries, so you just kind of set them. And so they're telling me to tell you to just sort of like pull them back a little bit now, like rethink how you now want to move forward with that, if that makes sense. And there's also like, there's a big shift that's coming for you. I didn't even hear when your birthday is. When's your birthday?
10/26/68.
Okay. Makes perfect sense because I feel like it's coming, So yeah, I feel like there's a big shift that's going to come for you that's going to start to get you to think more in alignment with where you want to go. Because I feel like like you're a little all over the place as far as like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? What's going to happen now? It's kind of a little bit of what we've been talking about. And I feel like you have a lot of tools in your toolbox as far as like where you can go as far as work goes. I feel like you have such a beautiful voice that needs to be heard, if that makes sense to you. And I mean, again, not singing. So I'll just say that you might have a gorgeous voice singing, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like, it's so funny because I keep hearing you like preaching in some ways. That's what it feels like to me. And just sort of enlightening people and saying what you need to say and putting yourself out there. And that's a lot of what I want to tell you to go more into that, because I feel like there's a lot of guidance that you can help people with and be able to help to align them on their path and help them with their path. There is this intuitive connection piece to you that I feel like you could do readings for people, but I will tell you it'll be very deep. One of the things that I do is I do soul to soul readings. Well, clearly you probably are seeing that now, because I go into not just like who you are and what you need, like I don't want to say the typical psychic, but I'm just going to say it that way because for lack of a better way of knowing how to put it. It literally like connects me to your soul and where your soul is meant to evolve and grow and go to. And if there's healing that needs to be done, if you are a healer and you need to move forward on that path, you have a lot of things that you can be doing. I really think you have your choice as to what you would want to do on the holistic path. But I will say you'll always come back to doing what's best for whoever you connect with. So that might mean you're connecting with them and you might need to do like an energy work session on them, you know, or some form of that, because I'll put it that way. I do see you doing some things that are a little different than what people have seen. So I don't know what you're wanting to learn, but there's definitely something on the healing side that I want to tell you to go start looking at things. I think Reiki will always take you to another step in that process because it always tends to open up and align you. And then wherever you go with healing beyond that, it'll just start to come to you. You'll find your niche, I guess is what I want to say. But Reiki to me is always the basis of where we start. I know that sounds funny, but that's just always what I've felt like for me. And just keep growing and evolving and going. But the one thing, and it's funny because I want to say to you, I was told this very, very early on, is that you cannot psychic your friends and family. You have to be very careful. You can know things, you know, and be able to like, I always, with my husband, I plant the seed. That's what I call it. Like, have you ever thought of blah, 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 blah? And then you just let it go. And then 2 months later, he comes back or a month later and he'll be like, you know, I think I'm going to do la, la, la. I'm like, oh, yay, go, yay, hooray, you know, that kind of thing. So it's sort of like you have to, and when you set your boundaries, that's where they're bringing me back to. It's like you set them in a way that some people, I would say some of them, I wouldn't say all of them. You set them in a way that your psychic part of you got into that. So it's almost like just not changing them or making yourself a doormat, because that's not what we're talking about. But you need to sort of rethink how you want to now go and evolve and grow that through where you want it to be now. Because I think you even probably have noticed, what they're saying is you probably have noticed some things that haven't really turned out quite the way you wanted them to, because you went a little too strong or you got a little too forward. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a lot of that. It's funny because one of the cards that came out, it says fight like a girl, which is kind of funny if you think about it. I think it's funny, but it's like fight like a girl. What that means is just like to calm it down. I'm going to pull it back a little bit, but this is what she looks like. Fight like a girl. So it's almost like, it's not like you have to totally take the powder puff and go poof, 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 you know, with people. It means you can still be a strong girl, but knowing, you know, you have to sort of align it around where people are, align it around with how they can hear things and how they can grow and evolve through things that you're sharing with them. And because there's some of the people that you've set boundaries with, they're telling me that you're teaching them along with setting those boundaries. So it's sort of, that's almost the group that I want you to kind of focus on, and you'll start to build, you know. And what is it about, like, you're not meditating, or you've let something that you used to do, you're not doing anymore? Because you need to get your butt in gear and get back on that. I'm very blunt. I hope you all realize that. So yeah, so you kind of need, like, they're kind of like, okay, come on, enough fooling around now, enough time off, you got to get going. So my job is done now.
You
I'll
pegged
let
me.
Colleen come in.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so Jerry, you know, they're showing me that you come in with this. I agree with Kathi. You got a lot of psychic gifts and even healing abilities within you. Very empathic, very sensitive. To me, it's like this great mother energy. It's like this mothering, nurturing, empathic, and caretaking. But it's almost like I can expand it beyond family. I can expand it beyond community, and I can expand it into like the world. So one of the messages was like creating something on a larger scale, because you come in with the potential for this master number energy, which is related to like Christ consciousness. It's like Christ was like the healer and the teacher, and you have this capacity to expand even larger and be like a healer, a teacher, you know, an intuitive, a guide on some level. And so they're talking about like networking with other people of like mind and expanding yourself, planting new seeds to create something new, which is more in alignment with a higher soul mission, if you will. And you are a water sign, of course, you're Scorpio. There's a lot of kind of this water, intuitive, feminine, and actually a totem came in with this water, and it was like the whale. So to me, whales are ancient and sentient beings. And I feel like they might even be part of a otherworldly species that was, put here on the planet. So you might want to look up what the whale totem is all about. It was something about sound and resonating. Like, again, this energy of intuition and psychic and flowing like the water, and like being magnetic to allow this resonance to kind of like flow off of you, and then allow the resonance of what needs to come to you to come to you. So there's something about being next to or in water when you meditate. I'll, kind of support Kathy's thing of getting into meditation more strongly. You can do it in the bathtub or the shower, but if you can get next to a river, a stream, a lake, or whatever, the water is going to help to bring a calm and sense of peace, and also magnify your intentions and your visualizations. They said to believe in yourself. Okay, so believe you can expand and do this a greater mission, if you will. They are talking about the energy that you came out of in this like last birthday year that you're now coming out of. They use the word anxiety. Like it was very an internal self-reflective time. It wasn't an external like do out in the world. It was more like a healing within sort of time period. And there might have been nervous energy or anxiety energy or overwhelm energies or confusion energies. Like, I don't know what's happening or why this is going on. That might have come up, but you're moving into a new birthday cycle now, which is going to be more grounded, more focused. And since we talked about that Isis card from earlier for the collective message, magic manifesting with Isis, you're moving into a birthday year that's going to be strongly about manifestation. It's going to be strongly about moving into your power, owning your power, empowering yourself and empowering others. And if there's anything for you with like business, money, finances, like it could be even going into your own business or just being your own authority or being a leader in some sort of group kind of project or whatnot, this is going to be the year to do it. And again, that believe in yourself, believe that you can do this. They said this past year was about like reintegrating soul pieces that from other lifetimes maybe split off a little bit from other traumas and challenges from those past times. And you were, and maybe still are, calling back these pieces of yourself to create more of an essence of wholeness. I mean, we're always whole, but sometimes parts of ourselves or gifts or talents, we don't trust in. And because of, again, past traumas, our inner child and things like that might go hide a little bit. So we're calling back these soul pieces, and things are kind of karmically rebalancing themselves. They talked about needing to like balance the chakras. So going back to meditation, like really focus in on each chakra, and you can start at the crown and go down, or you can start at the root and go up, whatever you feel is right for you. But see those colors and see the chakras really balancing. They didn't show me any specific chakra necessarily, although as you go into this new birthday year, I think you're focusing on your solar plexus chakra. And, this past year, maybe it was more about the third eye, like the visionary space, the logic kind of space, and how to merge logic and intuition appropriately. You're being kind of charged up from the higher realms, a lot of positive energy coming in for you. So that's what I got. Anything else, Kathy? No? Okay. So picking next, let's see.
Oh, sorry, I do have one thing.
Okay.
So I looked up totem, because I looked up the whale totem, and it says embodies profound spiritual wisdom and holds the keys to deep emotional healing. So I think that's a lot with you, boundary setting, the things that you're doing. It just really, that particular interpretation like spoke to me for you.
Yeah, that makes
Thank you so
sense with the soul pieces and whatnot coming back together is that emotional healing piece. So thank you for looking that up, Kathy.
No worries.
Okay. All right. I keep getting drawn, even though I don't know what Queen One Luna looks like, but I'm going to go there. And can you give me your first name and your date of birth?
Thank you. My name is Melina. And my date of birth is October 27, 67. It's a year less than Jerry.
Yeah, the day after Jerry.
After Jerry, yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I've got feedback. Is everybody else hearing that? Okay.
I'm hearing it.
Well, I'm gonna shut myself off and hope that it fixes itself.
Okay, let's see if we still get feedback. Yeah, I'm still getting feedback. That's weird. I don't know why though.
Yeah.
I guess you're just gonna hear me twice.
So maybe, Melina, you can mute yourself. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it started when she turned herself on. I wonder if she has two different devices on.
I don't know. So, all right.
Hmm.
So Kathi, do you want to go first?
Sure. Give me just a second till now I'm gonna focus a little bit. So Melina, it's interesting. I keep seeing visions of you hiding, which I think is funny because we can't visually see you. But there's something about like putting yourself in a challenge of flying. Like I just want, like that's kind of where I want to go with that. It's sort of like wanting to move but holding yourself back. Like there's something that feels like it keeps holding you back. When I really think that it's you that holds your back, you know, again, if we come into who we truly are, and maybe the family isn't supportive and the friends aren't supportive, sometimes we tend to like take a longer time to sort of allow ourselves to get out there. And that's a lot of what I'm kind of feeling. There's something about you, like gathering your loyalties is the card that keeps pulling me in. So finding the people that tend to raise you up instead of tear you down, you know, staying in alignment with the people that tend to raise you up. That's where I want to go. And I feel like when, and again, not an astrologist, but when your birthday comes, I keep getting this feeling as though it's really going to be a year of you finding you, like you sort of working with yourself and allowing yourself to feel good about yourself, allowing yourself to have the things that you truly are ready to receive and deserve. And a lot of times the way we're raised, our psyche, the things that happen, like I keep getting a sense of freedom, that you need freedom. So whatever is holding you back, and it's funny because I'm just going to show you this picture because I absolutely love this picture. It says, remember your wings is what it says on the card, but this is like such a gorgeous, I'm going to try to get it so it's not so shiny, but she has feathers in her hair and she has this beautiful eagle hawk on her back that is just like, and her wings herself, like it almost looks like the bird's wings are her wings. It's like I almost want to come over to you and like pull your wings out and get them to flap a little bit so that you can learn how to fly, because I think a lot of what's holding you back is possibly your family, because that's part of what I'm getting, being distracted, but it's also the inner you that's like, okay, I want to go. I want to go. I want to fly. I want to move. I want to. It's now you just need to take a step. Like I want to just kind of help you to take a step in that direction, because I feel like it's going to go very quick and fast for you. You have this amazing healing capability. And I feel like your focus for you would be on that. Like, how can I heal not just yourself, but also those that you will be guided to connect with? There's like this old world, this is the only way I can think of putting it, this old world healer in you that I almost want to like reignite that flame for you, because I feel like your healing is going to be so welcomed in this universe and needed in this universe. And I feel like it might start again, sort of like what I had said to Jerry. It might start with Reiki just to get you sort of reopening that door and reconnecting with that healer inside of you. Or it may start with some other healing class. It doesn't matter. It's going to be whatever connects with you, but where you take it and where you're guided. And I also know that it's in your lineage. So I know that it's in your family line. So if they're not being very supportive for you, it's already there. Like it's already kind of there. So allowing yourself to connect with that and kind of find that voice and how it connects with you. I feel like the strategic healing capability may be a little daunting to you. They keep showing me things. They keep showing, my guides will show me things that I'm like, I don't really know about that. Like voodoo. I know that there's and please forgive me because I don't mean any harm in this, but they keep showing me like chupacabra things, like things that tend to be a little when you don't know it, it's like tarot for us. You know, I've been a tarot reader for a long time, and I actually teach it. And a lot of people that I found when I did events would be like, "Oh, tarot." I'm like, they're paper. They're just cards, you know. So yeah, it's people get nervous about things that they don't understand. You're going to sort of align yourself with what positive part of that you connect with, because that's what I keep getting for you. So with that, I'm just going to pass it, excuse me, pass it on to Colleen. And you can let us, hopefully you'll put yourself on at the end and let us know if, you know, if any of that resonates with you or not. That's okay.
All right, Melina, you have, it's very interesting because you were born the day after Jerry, but you were born in the year before. So you actually have a very similar vibration to Jerry, where it's just this, again, this nurturing, loving, empathic, intuitive, you know, great mother sort of energy. So you have a similar thing as far as an expanded potential to move into something greater. And maybe you already do something, you know, greater as far as soul path purpose. It doesn't mean that anybody else is less than, or that you're less than if you're not moving into that higher energy, but they just want you to know that this great mother, healer, guide, intuitive teacher, you know, sort of energy is really there. This also has something to do with like being able to use your words, your thoughts, your words in a very creative sort of way. Now, you're going into kind of a different vibration, however, than Jerry. You're going into a vibration that is more about the ending of a cycle, closure of old patterns and closure of old situations. It's not going to happen all at once. And, you know, you're still about a little over a month away from even entering this cycle. So just know that over the course of the year, Spirit, the universe is going to gently kind of redirect and guide you to allow things to fall away that you don't need to hang on to. And that can include, again, mindsets, belief systems, emotions, but it can also be situations, relationships, etc., even job, career kind of things. So there's a fading away of the old, because then when you get to your birthday in 2025, you're going to be in this time of new beginning and planting new seeds. They said something about, they gave me this phrase of radical acceptance, like focusing on accepting what's going on, accepting yourself, accepting the divine timing of what's unfolding. It may have something to do with home, family, relationship stuff. I know Kathi talked a bit about family stuff. And that kind of kept popping up about this idea of, it's like home isn't necessarily who you grew up with, but it's more home is here, like home is here in the heart. So be in your heart, be here at home and accept yourself for what it is. They also talked about this time period of prosperity and abundance coming, but also that there was going to be a great shift and great changes coming. So it was kind of like this balance of, you know, I don't want to use the word challenges and be scary about it, but when there's kind of a closure cycle, sometimes there is big things that shift away, and it's like sometimes it's a little unsettling or a little even shocking sometimes. I don't feel like this is hugely like, I'm going to just use the word negative. I don't feel like it's hugely negative or scary, but it is going to be big, like a big change is coming. And from that big change is going to be like a new kind of fire and passion and creative energy within you that's going to be emerging. And part of this is going to kind of blow open this idea of prosperity and abundance, not just necessarily on a financial level, although that can be part of it, but just allowing the blessings, the abundant blessings of the universe and what your dreams and desires for this lifetime are for yourself, which again, you're strongly connected to home, family, people that, community, people that you're emotionally close to, you know, being supportive of them, kind of like holding them in your wings, so to speak, you know, kind of as a healer. They said your psychic ability of clairvoyance was going to be opening. So that third eye chakra, clairvoyance, is going to kind of expand, or it's already expanding open. And you're moving through at this time. Of course, I don't have your whole astrological chart in front of me, but they're talking about these eclipses are kind of like this cosmic portal or cosmic gateway that you're moving into that's really starting to activate new energies for you in your life. So it almost feels like even though you're going into a time of endings, closure, letting go, releasing, that it's also a time of activation as well. It's kind of like you're marrying both of those energies, so to speak. And then they kept bringing up like relationships. So I don't know if you're in a relationship, you want a relationship, but they kept like showing like romance and like twin flame energy, even though I don't know what I really think about that, but it was like that energy of soulmate, twin flame, love, soul partner, connection. And they were referencing that maybe in the past it hasn't been the greatest. Like there might have been some difficulties, challenges in relationships from the past, maybe some loss or challenge or fear, or maybe even some victimization energies because you're so empathic, you're such an empath that you're a caretaker. So you care for and caretake, for everybody, including the partner. And sometimes with this mother energy, you can even maybe become sort of like a mother figure. And so therefore, people possibly can take advantage of you because of that. So they're saying that the past is the past. Like, it's not going to be the future. We're moving into a time where we can now attract this higher vibrational relationship, partnership. And if it's not a romantic one, then we're talking about like new friends, new soul family. But I have to say, they did show a man holding a heart. So I'm like, this might be, and they did use the word kind of romance. So it seems like there's something shifting and going on in that area of your life as well. I don't know what you feel about like otherworldly beings or ancient cultures like Atlantis and Lemuria, but they did seem to reference that you were one of the ones from Lemuria, like you were a Lemurian starseed, so to speak. And the Lemurians preceded Atlantis, whereas Atlantis was more getting into somewhat of the masculine energies. Lemuria was very much the feminine, the unconditional love, the compassion, the healers, the gentle ones, kind of energy. So I feel like you're connected to that that time period in that lifetime. All right. So that's all I got. I don't know. Do you want to, Melina, try turning on your audio and giving us any feedback you might have, or did that resonate for you?
Oh, thank you for the insights. A lot of it did. This is the first time I hear about Lemurian, though. But when it comes to love, yes, I'm looking for my soulmate. I also have been told that I have healing abilities, which I'm working on it right now. And the third eye chakra that you say, I think you mentioned.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm also working on. So everything resonates 100%. And I do thank you for picking me.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
And if you want to look up Lemuria, it's Lemuria, and you can do some research on that and see how it feels to you. All right.
All right.
Kathi, do you want to choose our probably last person?
So I keep being drawn to Casey.
Okay, where's Casey?
Casey's beautiful, peaceful
There's
energy up
Casey.
there.
Awesome. Hi, Casey. Do you want to give us your date of birth, please?
Yeah, January 27th of 2000.
Okay, and do you have a specific question or area to look at, or do you want to just see what comes through?
Anything in regards to career guidance would be great.
All right. Thank you, Casey. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're up, Kathi.
So you can unmute yourself because we're not getting feedback. Casey, if you want to keep yourself unmuted, you certainly can. So I knew that I was going to have to pick somebody, so I kind of cheated in a way. I kind of went into your energy a little bit before we connected with you. And it's funny because I was drawn to you because you have this vision of peace, and that's a lot of what I was getting for you. And the very first card that came up, like I was already feeling that, it says champion peace. And it literally is like lunar moths, which I absolutely adore. But I love this woman, how she's in peace and she's got these beautiful lunar moths around her. Like it just so spoke for you. Like that would be your visual picture if you wanted to keep it for yourself, to just kind of remind yourself. The other thing I want to ask you is by any chance you do yoga or something? Because I kept seeing like slow moving, like it feels like either qigong, tai chi, or yoga. Like it feels somewhere in that realm, or is that something you're aspiring to do? Because I
Yeah.
think you'd be brilliant at it. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, I'm wanting to do yoga, but I have neck problems. So instead, I've been doing some water classes. So
Oh, nice.
similar, I guess.
Yeah, you might want to check out like Tai Chi or Qigong because it tends to move the energy through you. And that, trust me, I put on YouTube and watch that, and I'm just like I just get into watching them. I just go into this like Zen mode. It's just so calming for me because I used to do Qigong and I absolutely love it. But you can also amend it, just like yoga, you could amend some of the movements. But I keep seeing you guide it. Like I keep wanting like to guide you to that because I really feel like you could teach that. Like you could actually do classes in that because that feels a lot of like where you are in the moment. So I'll put it that way. I don't feel like your life has always been peaceful because I keep getting like it's sort of like you come from a 3-ring circus, because I'm just going to put it that way, because I keep feeling like you're trying to sort of renew yourself out of that connectedness and find that peace within yourself. And so there's a lot of like this sort of, it's funny because I got a winter card, and for you it was sort of like embrace that time when you just want to like just be in the moment and have those sort of like meditative moments for yourself, because that's what it feels like to me. Like be productive, but be like in a meditation period of time, because it'll help you to have more clarity and gain yourself into more clarity. And I think you find that the other thing too is they keep guiding me for you to write, like to write down again whatever speaks to you in the moment right now, but keep writing, because I feel like that's going to progress and become something more. There's also this is an awesome card. I have to show this card because I saw this card. I don't know if any of you were watching me at all, but I kind of went like, I made this point. Everything everything is here. Like you always watch me and you're pretty much always going to know how I feel about things. I'm very I was gonna say expressionless, but I'm not expressionless at all. But I saw this and I went, oh my gosh, she has got to start focusing on, and it was right around the same time that Colleen had said to Queen One Luna, because I'm sorry, names up until now are not always my forte till I get to know you. This came out and I was like, no, this is definitely for Casey. It's like sort of embracing that like third eye information that you're getting, because I tend to feel like we all do when we first start getting like overwhelmed with it. We tend to just like put it aside and say, I'm not listening to that. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to look at that. I don't understand that. So I'm just going to like, it's kind of like daunting to us in some way. So I feel like writing it down is going to start to expand it so then it can make sense to you and it won't be so scary in some ways to you. And maybe the scariness is probably overdoing it a bit, but it's more about the clarity, like finding the clarity and alignment with it. So there's that. You have this, they keep showing me one of your past lives, and you were definitely a character that was like a Tibetan monk. So they keep showing me that, where you have that sense of being able to allow yourself to share with people that peace and alignment, to where that's, again, why the Qigong movement's coming, why the yoga movements, but I also feel your voice is going to go down that path. So when you write, I do see you writing things in the future. It's going to be very aligned with peace and guidance and moving forward in that way. So the healer that's inside of you is going to be very intuitive, but very peacefully intuitive. So if you were to do readings for people, because I'll just say that if you were to do readings for people, they'd be very zen and very peaceful in how to guide others on finding themselves, finding peace within themselves, guiding them more into that personal, like getting to know yourself, that personal connectedness. You have a master connection to you. You've definitely been some form of a master in past lives. And I think it's very profound where you are guided to go. You're young. So I'm like, run with it. Now, because if you're already, I say the same thing to my daughter, run, like keep yourself in, keep yourself learning. Because if I could go back to my daughter's 21, if I could go back to 21 years old and do what I do, my life, I would have been so happy, because I didn't start until literally 21 years ago, around the time they were born. So I'll just say that. But it's like, learn what you can, soak it up, take it in, because you are going to be very profound for a lot of people. And a lot of people will be looking for you, and understanding, like even learning Colleen's class or astrological class would be brilliant for you, because it's aligning with the stars and the moons, and the process that's around that, I think would be so profound for you to pay attention to the energy that we're in, to pay attention to the energy that's going on. Those things are all going to be things that you're going to be pulling in that information to guide people to get through the more hectic times, and keeping them calm and reserved and serene. It's going to really, I'm like so excited for you for where you are. You are the embodiment of what we're looking for peace. And even though you might feel right now that you're not quite there, you really are going to be the embodiment of what we're looking for peace. You're definitely one of those that will bring that information to people and keep them very calm and serene. And, and how to be able to get through their day with those things. So I hope that speaks to you for the moment. And I hope that helps you to sort of go on your path even more. And if there's any connectedness that either Colleen or I could do for you, I know that we would help you in a minute. Because that's a big thing, is to help people get on this path. We need as many people on here as we possibly can. Colleen and I cannot handle it all. My hair used to be straight, not anymore. No, I'm just kidding.
That's too funny.
I'm just
All
kidding.
right. So Casey, I agree, first of all, with everything that Kathi is saying. Your energy, of course, you're in Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is this very objective, and it's more a masculine sign. Not that you're a masculine person, but it's more like take charge, make things happen, leader, go after things, it's that masculine energy. But you have a balance of this feminine energy too, this love, compassion, this healing, this, just like Kathi was saying. And they were showing me, again, the past life thing. They were saying past lives are very present or interwoven for you into your, even unconsciously, through your daily energy and your path forward. And so I was asking, well, show me one of her past lives. And they showed me two. And they said, oh, she's been the warrior, and she's been the artist. And so here's the warrior, the masculine energy side. And then like the artist, the creative, is the feminine energy side. And you've kind of done both. And you're doing both in this lifetime, where you're marrying that divine feminine and divine masculine energy. When I look at the whole over soul vibration of what you come in with, it is creative self-expression. It is about speaking, teaching, writing, creating, expanding. In fact, they said this time upcoming, because your birthday is coming up soon, is about expanding your consciousness, which means learning new things and getting more into your spirituality, spiritual gifts, spiritual understanding. So we're expanding that consciousness. And the birthday year that you're in now, as opposed to the year you're going into when it comes to career, this year has been one of just kind of surrender and go with the flow. Like if you've been trying to move forward on your career, you may or may not have been getting a lot of success, because it's been more like the universe is in the driver's seat. Like I'm over here in the passenger side of the car, and I'm just like going along for the ride. And you've had to surrender and trust and have faith. But you are going into a new birthday year in 2025, because your birthday is the end of January, which it's all about, here I come, world. It's like take charge, new beginnings, make it happen, plant new seeds, fresh starts. So the career path is being initiated. Now, you have to think about this new beginning time period, this birthday year time period of planting new seeds. When we're about to give birth to a child, I use this metaphor a lot when we're in a time of new beginnings, it doesn't mean it happens overnight, right? It's not like necessarily the quick birth and there's my new career and everything's functioning and wonderful. Sometimes you're in labor for a really long time and you don't know what's going to come out at the end. Is it going to be a boy, a girl, twins, triplets? And so this is a time to, again, it's kind of like surrendering to the divine timing of it all. You're though back in the driver's seat for 2025. So you're steering the vehicle, but it's a time where it may, take some months before things unfold. And I have to laugh. I giggled a little bit. Kathy, do you still have that card with the eye on it, the third eye? Oh, okay. So when Kathy held up that third eye card, I giggled because this was your card message for going into 2025. And if I turn it on its side, it looks like an eye. And even the idea of this is like eye of the needle, and it says be intentional. It's intentionality. So what are your intentions for your career path moving forward, especially in 2025, this period of time of new beginnings for you? Be intentional about what you want to create. Don't be so closed that it's in a box and there's no room for the universe to kind of steer and allow that to grow in different ways. But also you need to be specific though. It's like, what do I, even if you don't know what you want to do specifically, how you want to affect the world specifically, how you want to feel in doing your spiritual work or your life purpose, how you want to feel specifically. So send out those intentions. How do I want to feel? What do I want to accomplish? What's my goal as far as out there in the world doing my life purpose? Even if I don't know the details, let's be as specific as possible here. But again, that third eye opening where they said expanding your consciousness earlier, they said that for your career, lots of different possibilities. It's not about choosing one thing and that's the focus. Thank you, Kathy. It's not about choosing one thing and that's the only focus, because they gave me this adjacent possibilities. There's all these different doors you could walk through. There's all these different potentials you could utilize or create or experience. So just check them all out. It doesn't mean that if you walk through a door and then it ends up feeling not right or it's not the right door for you, you can turn around and walk out that door and through something else here, because there's lots of doors. So there's lots of possibilities coming up for you. They're saying there's more light activation happening for you. I think probably for everyone with these eclipses, but it's like something's being activated. And that's going to help you as you move into this time of new beginnings for your career. Now, going back to the Aquarius masculine sign of the zodiac that you are. Now, Aquarius is the humanitarian, by the way, and works with groups of people. It's like, how can I affect the group in a positive way? How can I work with people of like mind? But they showed me a lot of goddess energy, like, again, this divine feminine goddess energy. And they talked about through your career life, it's partly about using your healing light in some way. So how can you take what it is you might be passionate about, or, what touches your heart to do as far as career? How can I shine my healing light and bring healing to the world? And they talked about expanding that heart chakra, not only expanding your consciousness, which is kind of crown chakra, but expanding the heart chakra as well, letting yourself be in a state of love. They talked about hidden knowledge. They talked about connecting to the Akashic Records. So if you haven't ever had an Akashic Records reading, you might want to think about doing that and seeing, well, what are some of these past times, past lives? What do my Akashic Records say? Because they talked about a lot of hidden information. Well, I mean, it's not really hidden, but right now from your consciousness, it might be hidden. And they talked about really kind of getting into the goddess priestess energy. Again, Aquarius is very objective, it's like I can be objective, and they're kind of disconnected sometimes from the emotional stuff, but I do feel like you have that connection to your feminine intuition anyway, but they want you to open that more up. Open up to this feminine wisdom, this hidden knowledge, this sensuality, this passion. So it's really sacral chakra stuff. So if you're doing any like yoga poses, do the ones for the sacral chakra to open that up a little bit more as well. Again, you're creative. This is like your purpose, your path in this lifetime. This says creative self-expression, and it shows you spreading your wings and flying to new heights. And so this is where you're going to be beginning in 2025 to move into, during the course of the next few years. So I hope that has helped you. You have any feedback or anything you want to say?
Well, it made me want to cry when hearing about the vision of peace for everyone. And Yeah, pretty much everything resonated. I went to college and then dropped out, and then ever since then, for like a couple years now, I've just been exploring different things like astrology and things that you mentioned already. And so it's felt very much like go with the flow. I'm getting better at trusting my intuition, and I liked the confirmation that 2025 is going to be whenever it like starts a little bit more, I guess, because it feels like I'm just exploring things right now.
Okay. Well, I'm teaching like a 4th level astrology class right now, but if you go on to meetup.com and find my group Sacred Soul Empowerment, you'll find I'm probably very shortly going to be doing like an introduction to astrology, numerology, and maybe, you know, I'll be starting a new beginners class in the next few months. I might even be collaborating with Kathi possibly, because she's got also a separate group of students as well that might be interested. And so, you know, at some point, if you connect with both of us, you'll be able to know what we're both doing, teaching, whatever, and maybe some of that will resonate for you to want to connect with and learn about, to kind of put more tools on your tool belt, so to speak, so that when you move into this time of new beginnings and creation, you know, you'll be kind of guided and led to the next step on your path. Okay. Kathi, want to say any last words? I want to thank everybody for coming today.
Absolutely want to thank everybody for coming today. Those that are left here, thank you so much for allowing us to come in and share with you to the best of our abilities. And if you want to connect with me, you can certainly go on Facebook. Facebook seems to be the biggest thing. You can go to my website. You can go to Facebook either as Kathi Munson, which is me, because I have 3 personas on Facebook. You can either connect through Kathi Munson, Intuitive Cat, which used to be my old persona, and then Voices of Enlightenment. Voices of Enlightenment tend to be like where my classes are and things like that. You can also go to the website, which is Intuitive Cat spelled like with me, like KAT.com, intuitivecat.com, and certainly can see everything there. You can book with me if you'd like to. It also has my phone number on there if you want to text me and reach out to me. So I'm definitely out there. I look forward to being back here next month. And if you'd like to come and join our Zoom with me in the new generation of my space, this coming Friday, it'll be 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Certainly just reach out to me and let me know.
Thank you, everyone, so much
Thank
for
you.
everything. We appreciate all of you.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Hey, I had one more question. I typed it in the chat, but you recorded this. Where will the recording be?
Oh, I will upload it to my YouTube channel. It's just under my name, Colleen Lemma.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome, Casey. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.